Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a 2024 Omega Boutique exclusive. This was part of a collection of boutique exclusives launched in the Planet Ocean line with and without chronograph for 2024. This is, of course, the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean Chronograph Boutique Edition, 45.5 millimeters in diameter in full brushed stainless steel. I measure this watch 19.1 millimeters thick, and then from lug tip to lug tip, 52 millimeters with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. There's no getting around the fact that the previous generation of Planet Oceans were really big watches. This is too large for me. I would say if you're looking at something like a Royal Oak Offshore, this is a really important watch to consider because from a technological standpoint, this watch has features that AP, for all of its muscle, cannot quite match. Swatch Group Industrial Might does buy you some unique features here. You do need a wrist for it, though. Now, I'll let you judge whether this actually fits my 16 centimeter wrist, because it doesn't look as cartoonish as I expected, but I would say that if your wrist is 17 centimeters, just a little bit larger than mine, this is probably going to be a clean fit. That said, it's not going to fit underneath a cuff of any kind. The watch is massive, and we'll bring in Sammy the scale here. We'll do a little bit of a weigh-in for a watch that is not on a bracelet or made of precious metal, but due to its sheer size is going to have quite a bit of heft to it. And you could see that is very heavy for a watch that is both not precious metal and on a strap. So if you want a substantial watch that feels luxuriously heavy, step right up. Now it's 45.5 millimeters in diameter, but then you can see that it has this integrated strap, which does create a little bit of virtual span across the wrist, so there's this fight, so you can't pull the strap down vertically from the lug because it does conform to the case. It doesn't have any ability to pivot. It's sort of molded in textile forms. This is all rubber, but it looks like it's a woven fabric. It's designed to look that way, but it's all rubber, as you can see on the bottom. Now, there is a contrasting stitch, which is odd because it doesn't need it to bind these materials together. They're co-molded, but it looks good. We've got a thicker section closer to the lug, and then it thins out on the underside. And then we've got a clasp, which you can see is equipped with brushed finish, just like everything. This is a very subdued anti-glare look. You can see twin trigger release. You have to press both for this to pop open. All the excess length goes underneath, so it tucks in, and there's no need for strap minder loops. And also the excess length is not visible externally when the watch is on your wrist. You can see that the idea here was to resist glare. So to that end, everything is a brushed satin, and we have no polished facets on this case or bezel. The only polished element is that little surround for the bezel pearl. Over here we have what look like they might be screw-down crowns, but they're actually shoulders that are there to prevent shearing and better brace the pushers in case they get hit. But you can see how I'm able to operate this without screwing or otherwise unfastening a security crown around the pushers. Now, we do have a screw-down crown here. The watch is 600 meters water resistant, and it features the helium escape valve, which is now a thing of the past on the 4th generation Planet Oceans, but on these we still had the helium escape valve for saturation divers. So if you're that exotic mixture professional diver doing one big decompression, you open this before you do, and any helium that enters the watch during the dive will exit, provided the valve is open when internal pressure exceeds external by 2 to 3 bar, and that prevents the blowout of the crystal in the seals. Now, if you look, you can see that the crown itself features a media blast, so there's a lot of matte finishes here, but they're both brushed and blasted. You can see a little bit of the two in the profile of the bezel. It's a very sharp micro knurling that's easy to grip, and unlike, say, a diver 300 meter, this is a very easy Omega dive bezel to grip, even if your hands are wet, sweaty, or gloved. Let's listen. Has a very light action and crisp click to it. It is 120 clicks, so you can place it with precision. You can see that we have a combination of metal and ceramic inlaid in the bezel inserts. The idea is that the metal can never separate from the ceramic. These things are co-molded forever. We've got the first critical 15 minutes of the dive clearly marked, but we'll turn the light off now so you can get a better sense of the lume of this watch. We have just about every dial on the watch luminescent. You can even see that the mono counter at 3 o'clock, which carries both chronograph minutes and hours, it has 2 separate loomed hands. What's important is that the minute hand and the bezel pearl are green, so you can easily read those 2 critical timing references relative to each other without having to locate them in the dark. They're easy to distinguish. Jumping back now, we've got a dial that Omega describes as gunmetal galvanic. And so it's not one of Omega's recent ceramic dials. This one is actually a galvanic treatment on a metal base, and it's designed to be subdued, anti-glare. Again, that is the theme of this model. If you look at the Omega logo, the marquee, the hands, the indices, they're all high grade and delicately finished in a brushed satin so that they don't reflect more than a soft glow of light. Taking a look now, you can see that Omega smartly uses 2 different prints, really 3 if you count the sub-registers. We've got gray printing, white printing, and then a sort of off-white printing for the features of this dial. And yes, I know 600 meters and 2,000 feet, that's not a direct conversion. Just press the I believe button. Everyone does that in the watch industry. On the back, we've got this little metallized hippocampus or seahorse that's underneath the crystal, so you can't scratch it off. If you're wondering what naiad lock means, once upon a time, like back in the 60s, it was a type of crown. Today, on Omega watches, it's a caseback that always fixes top to bottom, so it aligns perfectly, so Planet Ocean will always be at the top, and the alignment will always be in this orientation. So very difficult with a threaded caseback to plan where it will come to a halt as you tighten it, whereas this naiad system ensures that you've always got a perfectly upright caseback. Taking a look at the movement, it's the caliber 90 to 900. It's an evolution. It is a master chronometer version of the prior 9300. 2 barrels, bidirectional automatic winding, 60-hour power reserve, full balance bridge, and a free-sprung balance for shock resistance. It's got a combination of a crisp column wheel function selector with a vertical clutch, so the chronograph always starts without any jump, stagger, or extraneous movement. And if you wish to leave it running, because of the vertical clutch, there's no additional wear and tear, so there's no hazard there. It's a 54 joule movement, unlike the standard 8900 coaxials, because this is a chronograph. It has a beat rate of 28,800 vibrations per hour, so conventional 8 beat per second, to match the calibration of the chronograph dial. So for chronograph fractions of seconds, it can read eighths. Stop second, so everything halts and you can set it to a reference time. We also have a time zone function where the chronograph and the other hands will be undisturbed, but you could set the hour forward or backwards as you jump time zones. You can even drive the date either way. Pull the crown out all the way, you activate hacking seconds. Omega keeps the dial clean by using a mono counter at 3, so you've got your chronograph minutes here and your hours. They're coaxial on the same axis. I know. Amazing, coaxial, that's what it means. And so you have them superimposed so that you've got your hours and your minutes. And by the way, you have minutes up to 60, which is unusual on a chronograph dial. And yet you still have a twin register dial that's not too busy. Turning it back to the opposite side, we have both polished and blackened screws with spiral arabesque Côte de Genève. We have a master chronometer, which means this movement meets all the COSC standards, but then as a fully cased up watch, Omega will take it and test it for winding efficiency, power reserve, water resistance to 125% of what's on the dial, because this is a dive watch. Also for chronometry to no worse than -0 + 5 seconds per 24 hours, better than a standard chronometer, is a master chronometer in that regard. No time loss is acceptable to Omega. Also anti-magnetic, it will be tested to over 15,000 Gauss as part of the test, which was created in conjunction with the Swiss Federal Institute of Metrology. To that end, the watch has a silicon hairspring anti-magnetic balance staff, balance, and escapement, and it uses the tri-level coaxial escapement with tangential friction rather than sliding. Remember, tangential is less. So when British watchmaker George Daniels created the coax, his idea was to improve chronometry, reduce maintenance requirements, and also extend power reserve, and all of that is realized with this watch. If you love it, it is a beautiful understated thing for its size. Normally a big watch tends to be bold in the wrong sense of the term, whereas this is almost discreet for something so large. And like I said, compared to Audemars Piguet, all of the technologies inherent from the master chronometer certification to the silicon hairspring, the amagnetic capabilities, a really impressive timepiece that offers a lot more than comparably sized Royal Oak offshores. This is a high-end watch with a mid-market price. If you love it, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.